handy dandy medic bag that I was wearing yesterday with my boot camp outfit.
I like your boot camp outfit.
And we're going to look at the different objects in my bag, and we're going to figure out, what does that tell you about Miss Dawson? What can you infer about me?
You're nice. They got nice stuff in there. I bet you have perfume. Oh, you said Phil.
Like me.
Dawson, leave it alone. I picked it up. Yeah, there you go.
So, our first object in Miss Dawson's bag is, of course,
Yes, I got it right.
a wallet. So, what does that tell you? And I'll tell you, there is no money in it.
I was gonna say ka-ching. Oh, to keep your
There's no money.
That is good.
That's not good. Those are not even credit cards.
No, like the
What does that tell you about me? That I have a wallet. I have a wallet with my license. Right there. What does that tell you about? Ricky?
Has your ID wallet.
It's my ID wallet. What does that tell you about? Why am I carrying my wallet with my ID? Yes?
Maybe a cop asked you to see your ID or something.
Yeah, so I'm driving. I have to drive with my
Safety pass. Like the safety pass. License. I said it's like a safety pass.
drive safely with ID.
And is
But you can get in big trouble.
Because if you were speeding and then you don't have your ID, don't go to jail. And then if you do, it's like going to your ID.
Yeah. Okay. Next thing I have in my
Keys.
is my phone. My Galaxy. What does that tell you about me? I have my
My
cell
mom has
phone.
a tablet. Yeah, me too. My mom has a tablet. Me too.
What does that tell you? Why would I carry my cell phone? Triana?
Or taking pictures or something.
Why would you be taking pictures when you're driving?
Yeah. Contact people like my mom or Chris. Yes.
It's not while you're doing
Sometimes you text people, can you give me some food?
Actually, I live alone. I don't ever text anybody. I have to get my own food.
You look like in the...
Okay, the next thing I have in my is a, what is that? Brush. What does that tell you about me?
You like to be brushing your hair at that point?
No.
Ricky, I'm really liking how you're raising your hand. What?
I don't like to look messy.
Yeah, I don't like.
I hate that noise. I like to What in there?
I have an umbrella. What does that tell you about me?
Maybe if it's rain.
Ricky's the only one raising his hand. I think you guys need to really look at Ricky because he's doing an awesome job. Abraham, it looks like you were raising your hand as well. Can you? The umbrella. Why do you think I have an umbrella?
Maybe because it's gonna rain and then when you're going to your car, like whenever everyone's leaving, you just get your umbrella.
So just prepared.
Prepared. No, what the fuck does that?
And we have to go with it for right now. I'm prepared for rain.
Tell you something about umbrella.
What?
You're responsible for your food.
Okay.
You forget it. You just forget it.
Okay. I have a red box DVD.
What is it?
Maybe you guys can see. But why do you think I have a red box DVD in my purse?
Is it rated R? PG-13?
I need to turn it in, right? Can I turn it in while I'm at school? Not really. Need to turn it in. The thing about about me watching movies? Can you kind of tell that I probably like watching movies? Yeah.
Is it PG? Or
I really.
I think it's PG.
The next thing I have in my bag is water. Why do you think I have water in here? Abraham?
Maybe if you're thirsty on the way driving or something, you just drink water.
I get thirsty. My mouth gets dry. I need to drink water, which that's what needs to happen right now. I'm glad I'm prepared with water. The next thing I have in my bag, this is a grading chart. What does this tell you about? This is so I can grade papers. And then this kind of goes with all my different pens I have in here. Whoa. I have colored pens and a grading chart. Aristotle, who grades these? Where's that?
Teacher stuff?
Teacher stuff.
You left your grading chart here. You have another one here to prepare.
Yeah. I like to grade stuff. It's actually my least favorite part of my job. Why? I'm prepared to grade. Why? Because I'd rather be doing something else than grading papers.
Well, you can.
You guys take the time to do the papers, so we'll sit down and take the time to grade them. Most of the time, it takes longer to grade them than it actually takes you guys to complete them.
Miss Dawson, what I would do is do half of the papers one day and one like in the afternoon, 1 hour, and then the rest you relax and then you come back. That's what I do.
I have a book in here. I would have a book.
The city
reading. So I could read it, right? If I have spare time, Abraham?
My brother had that book.
Yeah, it's a really good book.
I know, and then there's the president. There's like this capsule, and some people don't know what watermelons are or pineapples, yeah. And the president is working them all.
Oh yeah.
And there's big rat creatures.
Did you see the movie or something?
I don't know.
Did he tell you about it? Ricky, my brain was blank.
Look at the Easter egg.
So if I read a book, read when I get bored.
Probably you don't know what
Raise your hand.
Exactly. That's basically what's in my bag. Necessities. Aristotle, behind those boxes, there's a white thermostat that changes the temperature. Can you move it down? All the way down.
Doesn't that cost money if you move it? No. Yeah, it does.
Can I take this out?
Yes.
It costs money.
It's getting a little warm.
Doesn't it cost money?
It probably you messed it up. Like jacket.
Oh, if you turn it down.
You see it? Thank you, Lex.
I got the ones with cheese.
There's like this thing called laptop. It's like a Mexican bed, but you can grab it from 2 trees or one different lines. And if you wanna like sleep or read something, you can just lay down and cover yourself, and it's really hot. And it can be really.
It's amazing. I use it.
Yeah.
I use it as a swing.
So,
Yeah.
did the bags show you that I tend to be prepared?
Yes.
Yeah.
Prepared.
What were we doing when we were looking at my stuff and my? Well, we were listing stuff and we were thinking about what it's normal you would use it for, and then what I probably use it for. Yes, Ricky?
Maybe we use the water for giving somebody else and use it to drink it.
Or washing our hands with it.
So, you guys were inferring. Does anybody know what it means to infer? When we infer something from a story. Abraham?
Well, guess.
Not really. Yes. Yes? Huh? Do you guys remember the formula?
I do. Yes, I do.
It looks something like this.
Taco goes on the team equals higher hot. No.
Okay, you guys remember when I said Taco Cabana plus Burger King equals IHOP? Because I love to eat at those places. My breakfast, my lunch, and my dinner.
Eating the garbage can.
What does TC mean?
What's your breakfast? IHOP?
Yes? The text clues. What the text is telling me, the evidence is telling me. What does BK mean?
Background knowledge.
Background knowledge. What do you mean by background knowledge? Another word for it is a schema. Yes, Ricky?
When you try to get an answer, you go back and see what it was.
Background knowledge when I schema it. But background knowledge is telling me you know this stuff, you're just not really thinking right.
That's why you know. Something that you already know.
You already know, exactly, Jocelyn. And then we have that equals our inference. So we have to take the text clues, what we already know about it, and that gives us the inference. So, for example, our actual text clue was the red box DVD. And then we thought about what we do with the DVD. Well, we watch it or we go turn it in. And that was your background knowledge, and then you inferred what I was going to do with it. Does everybody kind of understand that? Yeah, it is. So, today we're going to read a story where we're going to inference in the story. So we're going to use text clues, our background knowledge to form inferences about the story. The story, is by Eve Bunting, who's actually a very popular writer. It's called Fly Away Home. Have you read it? Perfect. And it's illustrated by Ronald Himmler. And we got to remember, if we read a book, it's AR, so what should we do? Take our AR and get 100 on it. Because it's easy, because I'm reading it to you. So we're going to make some inferences during this story. Okay? My dad and I live in an airport. That's because we don't have a home, and the airport is better than the street. We are careful not to get caught. So, the boy and dad. That was the boy. It looks like a boy. Live in an airport. Our background knowledge, when someone has to live somewhere else and not in a home, what do we kind of? Someone's poor.
Gotta raise your hand.
And we can infer that we're saying they're homeless because they live in the airport, because that's what the text says. We can infer that they're probably poor, like you said. Okay, yes, Abraham?
It says that we're careful that we don't get caught.
So, yeah, that's another one we can do. We are careful. We won't get caught. What is our background knowledge about airports?
That they're
Yes, Ricky?
They're really big places, the thing where you go, where you wait for the plane to land, and you can go from there, Mexico, Canada, China, and so Russia.
So people are moving, right?
yes.
They're not staying in one place.
Well, some people do stay in one place to get their bags.
Well, yeah, but not for
Yeah.
living there. So what can we infer? It says, the text says, we are careful we won't get caught. Our background knowledge is that airport's a big place where you wait for planes to take you places. So what do you think they're going to happen if they do get caught?
They're gonna get.
They're gonna get transferred where they usually live.
Well, they don't actually.
Are they supposed to be living at the airport?
No.
No.
That's what I was trying.
It isn't allowed.
No.
To live.
If you live in an airport, then it's like those people that are homeless. But they live outside. They never get to go inside because they're homeless.
Yeah, why do you think they live at the airport rather than on the streets like normal homeless people? Abraham?
Because the streets, it's more dangerous there because there might be animals or people and
Ricky?
sometimes the animals are in the streets and they can see.
What streets are you living on with the animals?
Like
Streets are dirty. Why would you want to stay? Why would these people want to stay at the airport?
Because it's clean, nice.
Well, it is.
It has food.
kind of like
Mr. Slocum and Mr. Vale were caught last night. 10 green bottles hanging on the wall, they sang. They were as loud as 2 moose bellowing. Dad says they broke the first rule of living here. Don't get noticed. Dad and I try not to get noticed. We stay among the crowds. We change airlines. Delta, TWA, Northwest, we love them all. Dad says he and I wear blue jeans and blue t-shirts and blue jackets. We each have a blue zippered bag with a change of blue clothes. Not to be noticed is to look like nobody at all. So why do you think they're wearing, they say they wear a lot of blue. What does blue, when people wear blue, a lot of blue, what does that tell you about them? Everybody wears blue, right?
Yeah, they do.
Do we wear blue jeans? I think everybody's wearing almost blue jeans. Everybody wears blue. And that was to help them not be caught.
Right now I have blue. And my socks are blue.
Because we all wear a lot of blue. I'm even wearing blue shorts. With my crazy outfit. Once we saw a woman pushing a metal cart full of stuff. She wore a long, dirty coat, and she laid down across a row of seats in front of Continental Gate 6. The cart, the dirty coat, the lying down were all noticeable. Security moved her out real fast.
Did you do my letter?
No worries.
It said dirty jacket.
Dad and I sleep sitting up. We use different airport areas. Where are we tonight, I ask. Dad checks his notebook. Alaska Air, he says. Over in the other terminal. That's okay. We like to walk. We know some of the airport regulars by name and by sight. That's Idaho Joe and Annie Franny and Mars Man. But we don't sit together. Sitting together will get you noticed faster than anything, Dad says. Yes, Abraham?
Wait, they switch airports?
They switch, yeah. Come and walk onto the which are different airlines. So you
Oh,
might
I
have
know about that.
Southwest and
I know.
American Airlines, something Eagle,
Yeah, it's a
and those are considered different airlines, and that would be a different part of the airport. Okay, yes, Ricky?
What are different stations and different places to go?
Yeah. Well, it's just different airlines. They might be going to the same place, but different airlines have different prices, and some people like going to certain. Yeah.
And expensive first class.
Okay, it said Dad and I sleep sitting up.
I know why. Because in the airplane, in the airports, there's seats. And you can go to sleep. No.
And airports, there's seats.
So I think they.
And you don't get noticed that much.
Yeah, they take your weight, but you just sleep. That's how.
And why do they not lay down?
Because you'll get noticed more quick.
So they don't get noticed.
And you don't sleep that much comfortable.
No, because you don't feel like that.
Everything in the airport is on the move. Passengers, pilots, flight attendants, cleaners with their brooms. Jets roar in, close to the windows. Other jets roar out. Luggage bounces down chutes. Escalators glide up and down, disappearing under floors. Everyone's going somewhere except Dad and me. We stay. Why does it say we stay? What can we infer? Well, we know they're probably homeless.
Probably because they live there.
Yeah, they have to live there.
Probably if you get out from the doors.
Once a little brown bird got into the main terminal and couldn't get out. It fluttered in the high, hollow spaces. It threw itself at the glass, fell panting on the floor, flew to the tall metal girder, and perched there, exhausted. Don't stop trying, I told it silently. Don't you? Don't. You can get out. For days the bird flew around, dragging one wing, and then it found the instant when a sliding door was open and slipped through. I watched it rise. Its wings seemed okay. Fly, bird, I whispered. Fly away home. Though I couldn't hear it, I knew it was the singing. Nothing made me happy as that bird. So what did that bird? The bird flew out, and the boy really liked it.
I think he would.
When you think of a bird flying, what do you think?
I believe in the flag.
That's a good song. Yes?
Do
Do you feel like the bird has freedom?
Yeah.
Yeah, because it's just flying wherever.
I think
What can we infer about what the boy wants?
what? To get free.
He wants to get free from what?
Oh, stop living in the airplane. I think the boy like a pet. You already read it.
The airport's busy and noisy, even at night. Dad and I sleep anyway. When it gets quiet between 2 and 4 a.m., we wake up. Dead time, Dad says. Almost no flights coming in or going out. At dead time, there aren't many people around, so we're extra careful. In the mornings, Dad and I wash up in one of the bathrooms, and he shaves. The bathrooms are crowded, no matter how early, and that's the way we like it. Strangers talk to strangers. Where did you get in from? 3 hours. Our flight was delayed. Man, am I bushed. Dad and I, we don't talk to anyone.
Oh, because the night tells.
Okay, so you're... Dad and I don't...
Because it's like, why have I seen you like multiple times here? And then they tell them their secret, and then they tell the
And don't want to get caught. But people tend to slip out their secrets, right? That's what you're going at. People ask too many questions. And when you're trying to be unnoticed, you don't want to do that. We buy donuts and milk for breakfast at one of the cafeterias. Standing in line with our red tray, sometimes Dad gives me a carton of juice. On the weekends, Dad takes the bus to work. He's a janitor in an office in the city. The bus fare is $1 each way. On those days, Mrs. Medina looks out for me. The Medinas live in the airport too. Grandma, Mrs. Medina, and Jenny, who's my friend. He and I collect rented luggage carts that people have left outside and return them for 50 cents each. If the crowds are big and safe, we offer to carry bags. Get this one for you, lady. It looks heavy. Or can I call you a cab? Denny's real good at calling cabs. That's because he's 7 already. Sometimes passengers don't tip. Then Denny whispers, stingy. But he doesn't whisper too loud. The Medinas understand that it's dangerous to be noticed. Did you realize this many people live at the airport?
Yes, they all know each other because they help.
When Dad comes home from work, he buys hamburgers for us and the Medinas. That's to pay them for watching out for me. If Denny and I have had a good day, we treat for pie. But I've stopped doing that. I save my money in my shoe. Hey, he's saving his money.
In his shoes. Oh, really?
Why do we save money? Why did we need to save money? Why do you save money?
I don't. I save it for me.
Buy stuff? Why do you think this boy in the story is saving money?
For his family.
Yeah, to get out of that airport, buy a house.
Or rent a place.
Well, no, renting is not good because it might keep you out.
Will we ever have our own apartment again? I asked Dad. I like it to be the way it was before Mom died. Maybe we will, he says, if I can find more work. If we can save some money. He rubs my head. It's nice right here, though, isn't it, Andrew? It's warm, it's safe, and the price is right. The price is right because why?
Because they don't have to pay.
They don't have to pay anything.
Only the food.
But I know he's trying all the time to find us a place. He takes newspapers from the trash baskets and makes pencil circles around letters and numbers. Then he goes to the phones. When he comes back, he looks sad and angry. I know he's been calling about an apartment. I know the rent's too high for us. I'm saving money too, I tell him, and I left one foot and point to my shoe. Dad smiles. Attaboy. Yes, Ricky?
They produce them to go live with them.
You mean they
Persuade me.
If we get a place, you and your dad can come live with us, Debbie says. And if we get a place, you and your mom and your grandma can come live with us, I say. Yay! We shake on it. That's going to be so great. After next summer, Dad says, I'll have to start school. How? I ask. I don't know, but it's important. We'll work it out. Denny's mom says he can wait for a while, but Dad says I can't wait. So they're not even in school. Sometimes I watch people meeting people. We missed you. It's so good to be home. Sometimes I get mad and I want to run at them and push them and shout. Why do you have your homes when we don't? What makes you so special? That would get us noticed, all right? Sometimes I just want to cry. I think Dad and I will be here forever. Do you think we must be like that bird free?
Yes.
Then I remember the bird. It took a while. But a door opened, and when the bird left, when it flew free, I know it was singing. The end.
I haven't moved in
Sometimes the stories we hear are not. Does he have hope though?
It is a hope of them. I haven't moved like that too.
He has hope. So did you see how we took the text clues, our background knowledge or schema, and we made it inference? Does everybody else understand that? This is also known as drawing conclusions. Inferencing and drawing conclusions are the same thing. When we draw, what do you think of conclusions? What do you think of? Do you think about Abraham? Ideas? When you draw, conclusion. Okay, at the end you have a conclusion. In the story there's a conclusion. He was hoping that he'd be free like the bird.
Or rich.
Conclusions are what we can take. And when we're drawing conclusions, we're taking the text clues and the background knowledge and we're inferring. Does everybody understand that? Yes? No? Maybe so?
Miss Dawson.
No, we're gonna.
Miss Dawson.
The movie little eraser,
Don't touch.
Did it hit green?
the big one is blue, but it is light blue, and then orange, it's like orange.
You guys are gonna get like a little laugh at it.
Miss Dawson.
Yes.
Like the movie I saw is about this girl and she was dating someone. And then they were poor but they still had a car and stuff. And then she went to Walmart and then her boyfriend left her. He took the car away and then she stuck there with Walmart and she had to live there. Walmart.
Oh yeah, I know what movie you're talking about.
And then she gets pregnant.
Okay, so we're gonna do some practice together. And we'll do it on the chart, and then you guys are gonna get your own that you can practice. Does everybody understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Those are your little lap desks, since the desks are kind of indisposed right now. Okay, when you get your paper, you're not going to get it for this one, but for the next one you'll get it. So you need to put your lap board either on your lap or on the floor.
It's a lot.
Okay, you are going to make 3 columns like that previous paper. What do you think the title of the first column is going to be? Text clues. Text clues.
Oh, I thought you crossed it out on the board.
And then background knowledge. And you can just write BK for Burger King. And then your inference. Does everybody understand? And you're going to be making several, so you probably want to subdivide this into a table like this. Does everybody understand?
I got my markers. Can I do my markers?
No. Okay, go, Abraham. Okay, let's read what this passage has to say. Your class has a great day, so your teacher lets you pick any spot in the room to read your library book. You choose to read under the table. Beep, beep, beep. The fire alarm is going off, so you line up and head outside, only to find it was a fire drill. By the time you get back to your classroom, it is time for lunch. After lunch, it is time to go to the library. So you go to your desk to get your library book, but it wasn't there. Then you run to the table, and sure enough, your library book is under the table. How did you know that? So the text clue was the fire alarm off, and you leave your library. Well, we know when the fire alarm is going off, what do?
Stop doing what you're doing and then
You stop
what you're doing.
and line up to what? What do you, after you line up to go outside? To go outside. So what can we infer about this person?
That he is a little bit
Well, he's in school.
He listens to all the rules.
He is in school and listens to all the rules. Do you see how I did that?
Yes.
I just drew a conclusion. And he realized that he left his book, so he probably traced back his steps.
Yes.
Yeah. Sometimes we have trouble doing that. So you're going to get a paper, and I want you to create the same column or the same table I did. You guys are
Are we gonna do this in school?
No, we're going to go to a different one. There you go. If you need a pencil, there's some pencils. I can't guarantee there's not.
Well, I got one Sharpie. Yeah. It's something my
So you need to draw that table. I'm liking how Triana's going.
Can we just lay down?
Do it vertical like this.
Can we lay down?
No, you. And I'm going to do Abraham's while he's gone.
It didn't come straight.
No, you can do it. It doesn't matter. I just did a whole bunch.
But you have to do it like
TCBKI. Yes. You're not going to have to write over it.
Are these
Oh,
enough?
did I write it wrong?
Are these enough?
Yeah, that's fine. I don't know why I wrote S. Okay, let's look at this one. And this will be your first one you'll write on your chart. Kyra was eating dinner in a nice restaurant with her grandparents. Everyone in the restaurant had on nice clothes and was eating with good manners. While waiting for her food, Kyra noticed a man enter the restaurant. He looked a little out of place because his clothes were old and worn and very dirty. So, our text clue is the man said he looked
It was a sheep.
a little out of place. turn to a close. Can you guys see that? I think I'm gonna have
A little.
yeah. So you need to be writing this. That's our text clue. I don't know.
I don't think that happened last time. Sometimes it comes so late. Last time was just there. That happened.
Okay, are you writing that down, Jocelyn?
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you, ma'am.
Oh, I could play before. You're playing. W.
Well, oh, that W slash is shorthand for with old dirty clothes.
I wrote it a little different.
That's fine. As long as it fits the gist.
Well, I have.
Well, we know people who have old and dirty clothes. What are they probably?
Homeless. Probably poor.
Homeless.
He's probably poor and he has some spare money.
Wear
To buy some food.
old dirty clothes.
You see, that's why the kid was using money, saving money, so he could like.
Well, that wasn't a story. This is a different thing. Homeless wear old dirty clothes. So we can probably infer that the person is homeless.
Where?
Homeless. Homeless. Put together.
I want to understand that.
Oh, I'm sorry. We're just walking with what we have. Do you see how we're inferencing and drawing conclusions about the person using the text and our background knowledge? Easy, right? Garbage bag. Grab bag. Okay. We are going to play a game called Grab Bag. In this bag, I have cards with different situations on it. One of you will draw a card and read the situation to the class, and we'll put it up here on the.
And then you have to read it on that.
You'll have to read it. Then you and a partner, so whoever's sitting next to you, so you guys can work together. You guys and Abraham can join either or. We'll complete your graphic organizer to draw a conclusion about the situation. We will then compare conclusions with the rest of the class and see if we were all drawing the same conclusion. So, you're going to have to take the text clue. You're going to have to use your background knowledge, and you're supposed to draw a conclusion and make an inference. Does everybody understand? Okay, Triana, would you mind being first? Okay, grab one out. And you read it to us and then we'll put it up here. You're going to work with your little group. Abraham, you get to either choose to work with that side or this side. You're going to use the text clues and your background knowledge to infer what happened to Tanya because she didn't put on her sunscreen.
I know what.
You need to write it down. You need to discuss it with your partner. What does the text say? What do you know? And then what can you infer about Tanya? Or Tanya. Either or. Yeah. Righty. What do you think happened?
Thank you, my friend. I only get two.
So the inference question is, what do you think happened to Tanya because she didn't put on the sunscreen? That's fine.
I make up names. I don't know how to say the name. Tanya.
Yoga.
Hey, Abraham, are you working? You're using your text clues, your background knowledge, and what do you think happened to Tanya? That's your inference.
I'm just gonna put
That's fine. She's fine.
We didn't have the same stuff.
You're working. You're talking with the people you're working with.
I know it's fine. I push it out with that screen.
And your background knowledge. Well, that's what the text said. But your background knowledge, what happens if you don't put on your sunscreen? You get burned, and that's what with your background knowledge. No sunscreen equals burn. You can draw an arrow. That's what it means. It's not pushing the immediate. So forgot it. Our background knowledge just says if there's no sunscreen, then you burn.
Yeah, right. That's what she got from me. I put she got something.
But I did a picture of the hot and the sun and I put hot.
Can you see yours, Ricky?
Wait, did she go swimming?
What does it say? I don't know what that says. Well, that background knowledge, you'll get a sunburn. Your inference is she'll get a sunburn. Think about that, guys. This is not the first time you've seen this. You've actually seen this multiple times this year.
Then my art teacher. Well, I did my
Okay. So our text clues. She left her sunscreen at home, right? Our background knowledge. What happens if we don't wear sunscreen? What our background knowledge? If you don't put sunscreen, what's gonna happen to you? You're gonna get. You will get sunburn. And our inference would be, what happened to Tanya?
She got a sunburn.
Tanya probably got a sunburn.
No, probably. She did. No, because sometimes when you wear gloves,
You're inferring that she got one. She might have had a t-shirt on where she only got burned right here, or she got actually tan.
right here.
So Tanya left sunscreen at home. Our background knowledge is if we don't put sunscreen on, what's going to happen? We're going to get burned. Then our inference is Tanya got a sunburn. Does everybody see how that works? It's not. You guys, I think, are overthinking it. Yes, Ricky?
I think her mom's overprotective and she wants her to wear something.
That's another conclusion we could probably
Like
make.
my party.
Her mom
Freddie's mom.
is probably overprotective like Freddie.
What's your party?
I'm Harley.
Hi, Harley.
Okay, Abraham, why don't you pick one? And then you're going to read the story.
Thank you, lady. That's what you turn these on.
Okay, read it out loud, and then you can go put it up on the board.
Beth had to put off studying her spelling words. She didn't do well on recess, but wanted to watch TV at home. Then, practicing her spelling words, Beth, her mom warned her, if you don't study your spelling words, you'll make a bad grade on your spelling test. Beth decided if she studied on the morning of the test, then she would make a good grade. How do you think Beth did on the spelling? Bad.
Okay, let's look at this. Beth put off studying her spelling words all week. She didn't do well on the pretest, but wanted to watch TV at home instead of practicing her spelling words. Beth, her mom warned, if you don't study your spelling words, you'll make a bad grade on your spelling test. Beth decided that if she studied on the morning of the test, then she would make a good grade. How do you think Beth did on the spelling test?
That's alright. That's all. It's alright. 69. A 78.
Okay, well, our text clues says she studied in the morning. Beth studied in the I need you to be writing. I'm pretty much giving it to you.
Where did you write it? Cause I'm. Dude, you just copy. It's right there in black and white. Or purple and white.
Well, our background knowledge on spelling tests.
If you don't make a good grade, you have to just get. No, you don't.
Well, thinking about spelling tests, do you study just the day before or the day of?
No, you have to study all the time.
If you have extra time, you can study on Thursday. The time your homework is taken.
You need to study all week to get an A, right? Or to get a 100. Unless you have a photographic
You can
memory,
call me
which we do not.
We can just say don't.
It's because I forgot your name.
Our voices are off. If we study all week, we're pretty much guaranteeing ourselves 100, right?
Yeah.
My mom makes me study every day.
That's an easy test to get 100 on.
I know, but she makes me study every day.
Are you writing this down, Abraham, or are you just sitting there?
I'm looking.
That's why I never get that way from my study.
Then studied in the morning. Study all week to get 100.
Wait, looking better and prove my grades and study. You do? I got a 95 from the.
I didn't find
I got one.
I need voices are off.
So how do we know she's studying?
It's
Because it
evident.
said, see, Bex, if she studied on the morning of the test, then she'll make a good grade.
It said it. The text said it. That's our text clue.
Oh.
Study all week together. Why do they give us like easy stuff?
Are you writing all the stuff down? I only see one thing filled in your column.
She wrote this. So we should have three.
Yeah.
Well, technically you have 2.
Yeah, but
But right now, I don't even see the background knowledge or inference filled out with you. Why were you not doing that? Especially when I'm writing it on the board. That's what's keeping us. We could be moving on, but no. Now, what can we infer? How did Beth do on that test?
good.
Ricky?
So she did have a 69.
She probably failed it, right? Because we need to study to make 100.
Maybe she made like a
And a 69 is not a good grade.
70, maybe at least.
So that
She probably failed.
I'm making one more.
That's probably all we have for. You guys have homework. We haven't been able to move through stuff, so you have homework now.
Yeah, well,
I make it.
we have homework.
Because we've been waiting on you.
You
You want to read that?
Well, it's right there in front of me. It's in front of me. Put it there. I know.
For about 15 seconds, that he will sterilize the mouth and volume or might make you sick or kill. This process is called pasteurization. Today, all of the milk we buy in the grocery store has been pasteurized.
Okay.
Riches has been pasteurized.
Let's take a little bit of our more.
Yeah. Pasteurized beans.
Okay, let's look at this and talk about it. Louis Pasteur was a scientist who influenced something most of us drink every day, milk. Pasteur discovered that if you heat milk to about 161 and 6 degrees Fahrenheit for about 15 seconds, the heat will sterilize the milk and all the bacteria that might make you sick are killed. So sterilizing the milk means all the bacteria is killed. So all the stuff that makes you sick is all killed. This process is called pasteurization. Today, all of the milk we buy in grocery store has been pasteurized. What can you conclude about the safety of the milk we buy from grocery stores? So the text says the bacteria is killed, right?
They don't want you to get sick.
Wait, this stuff is, but you don't want to drink nasty warm milk.
Well, it heats it up
Then
and then it cools it down.
And then you put it to the freezer, right?
I don't know if you put it in the freezer necessarily. But our bacteria is killed. You need to write that down. Bacteria is killed. Jocelyn, you need to write that down.
Next one.
Bye bye bacteria. Bacteria.
What do we know about bacteria?
It's bad for you. It gives you it makes you sick.
Bacteria
Is
killed.
sick.
can make you sick.
And that's why sometimes they buy hand
Hand sanitizer. You're fine. Are you writing this down?
Yes. Oh, that.
So what can we conclude or infer about the safety of the milk we buy from grocery stores?
That
Yes, Ricky? It was heated, and so we won't get sick, right?
I think first you heat it up and then
Good. It was heated, so we won't
get
get
sick.
sick. I forgot to add that.
Wait, do you drink warm milk?
Some people do.
I do.
Write this down. It was heated, so we won't get sick because all that bacteria is killed. Yes, Ricky?
A long time ago, I had a cow. We used to call it baby, and we didn't know. But we do always used to be grandpa has one, and we call it pickle. And we're like,
Okay. For your homework, it's a short passage. Literally, it is 3 paragraphs.
yay!
This part down here, you do not have to do it unless you want to. You'll get bonus points. The questions,
That's homework?
yes.
Yes.
These are, and I'll give you 2 days, so they're due Thursday.
We think it was for
What if you don't turn it in?
You need to turn it in or you'll be walking.
Can we use the one pad in the video?
No. Is it my Austin?
No. Is this from Miss Austin? Not Miss Austin.
So I want you to answer these questions. There's 6 questions. You don't have to do this part. You just have to read it and do 6 questions. It's about conductors and insulators. We learned about that in
But what is
science.
the insulator?
Huh?
Oh, yeah.
You remember conductors and insulators from science? We learned that in science this year, so it should be kind of review. But you're going to answer the 6 questions. When is this due?
Thursday.
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 Abraham?
I can't say it right now.
Next week, or the week you come back, won't be next week. I'll give you guys your souvenirs. We don't have enough time to put them in, but I have them ready. So I know who's here and who's going to get one. Okay? Yes, Ricky? That's fine. All you have to do is read three little short paragraphs and answer the 6 questions. Does everybody understand?
Miss Dawson, if you turn in early, you get bonus.
Yes.
Here you go.
So you can please put the pencils back, and you need to go get your stuff and make a pile of the lapboards with your papers. Yeah. Abraham, can I have yours?
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you.